Welcome, everybody. On today's episode, we're going to discuss the five most successful habits of top agents across the United States. Could be the world, but for sure across the United States. So, top most successful habits that we all have. So, stay tuned for that. All right. Hopefully everybody's having a good Friday. We're getting ready to go into the weekend. Excited to pretty much relax this weekend. It's been a crazy week, a lot going on. We brought on another agent on a team. So welcome Aaron Delgado. He's doing well on a whole week of training. He's probably overwhelmed as well. Put some listings on the market. The team's put some listings. We're just moving along. So excited about this year. Already going, almost done with our first quarter. But look, let's talk about some habits that definitely most successful agents, do daily, or how they think, which makes them act in this way daily, right? So this is something I get asked a lot. And this is something that when I talk to agents, it's amazed to there's a problem with that, or a problem with a lot of these, versus they see the bigger picture, right? And again, that's why there's always the top, and that's why there's always the rest, right? The people at the top understand it, and they just adapt and do certain things, and just takes them to the top, and the others don't. So that's why they're more at the bottom. So hopefully this video with the five, I think are pretty important, or most important. There's a lot out there, and again, there's a lot of different opinions on it. But in my time, I believe these are pretty important, and has helped my success and helped other agents' success that came on my team. So I'm not talking. Okay, so let's go with the first one. All right, I say this a lot: logic versus emotion thinking. Okay, what does that mean? So listen, when you're in a business, you must think logically, not with emotion or emotionally, right? And in most cases, especially in our business in real estate, right? Well, I think it's probably across the board. Nowadays, this world is off emotion. It's not off logic, and it's not off statistics. It's off of emotion. If I feel emotionally tied to somebody and they say something, I believe that, versus logically research and looking it up. Like, that's one piece, right? Um, I have a friend out there who his name's Troy Bell, and he coaches his son and has and helped him develop into a state champion wrestler who now is going to college to wrestle, and he's been ultimately successful, right? But if they woke up in the morning and they did at like 4 in the morning, and they didn't feel like doing things, he definitely wouldn't have had the success he had. So again, you have to get over the emotions, and think with logic with everything you do. I don't feel like calling people. I don't feel like going to the office because I don't feel as good, or you know, something emotionally is taking you out of the thought process of doing what you should do. People who are successful and highly successful are doing things off logic, not off emotion and feelings. They're going to be there no matter what. They're going to show up all the time. Even if they don't feel well, they'll still push through. Like, you don't know any different, right? So they think logically over emotions. All right. That's number one. Number two, it kind of fits the same, right? Is I'm not sure if it's spelled amateur. But either way, so you're going to do pro, you're going to go pro, or you're going to stay amateur on what you do. Okay. My coach, Coach Michael Burt, he always says this, right? Are you going pro or are you going to stay amateur? Right. And here's the difference. Obviously, the difference is if you look at any professional, they do it all the time. They think with logic and they do it all the time, and they're always looking to get better. They're never complacent. Why would Tom Brady play football till he's 50? Basically? Why? He's won championships. He's made millions of dollars. He's got endorsements because it's within himself to be a winner. It's a challenge. He's a pro, right? And he doesn't just take it that he's a pro and he's won all the time and then he gets complacent. No, he thinks still professional. He's got a body guy, his own body guy takes care of his body. He eats right. He works out. He tries to get better. He's getting better all the time. Right? That's the difference with pros versus amateurs. You know what else is the difference with pros versus amateurs? Money. Money. So think about it. You want to be an amateur, or do you want to be a pro and make more money? Right? Most people always want to make more money, but they think and work like an amateur. They show up when they want. They're always not consistent with things. You know, they don't seek self-improvement. They're not pushing themselves, right? They're not surrounding themselves with other top people in their industry. They're not reaching out to others to maybe help train them or pay to get trained. Like this is consistent amateur thoughts. It's always about what not to do, but trying to get the most from it. It's not going to work. So if you want to go pro, you need to seek self-improvement and you got to adapt that way and think that way like highly successful people and agents, realtors. So remember, you want to go pro or you want to stay amateur. That's going to dictate your money. I can tell you all the time. I can ask you, how many deals have you done? How much money have you made? I can tell you if you're an amateur or pro based on just that. Okay. Let's go to step 3 or habit 3. They show up even when they don't want to. Okay. Or only with appointments. Now, our industry is notorious for this. Right? And it's why real estate agents rank below car salesmen and lawyers because nobody in our industry, well, not nobody, a lot of people in our industry don't take it as a business. They get their license and they work it like a part-time person, right? They don't show up like they would as a business. Okay. So they end up only showing up when they have appointments. Right. Oh, I can meet a client. I'll show up at the office then. That's what happens. People out there don't know that. Though. The public doesn't know that. They think, oh, hire realtors, they're all the same and blah blah blah. No, there's not. When I always say that we're a full-time team, we're a full-time real estate team, meaning we show up every day. It's our business. I come in every day. If I don't have appointments, I still am here every day. I'm in the office. I'm working real estate. That's not the norm. Okay. But that's what separates top and the rest. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you can't be a top agent if you don't show up in an office. I'm saying that you must show up. Right. That's different. You got to show up. What I find amazing is I've had people, right, who came to me as a part-time person, part-time agent. And then they want to transition into real estate. They show up every day for that part-time job, on time or early, stay all the way till 5 for the part-time money, and won't give half of that to their own business and real estate. Now, nobody's going to hold them accountable. So they show up less, they're late, or they don't work as hard for their own business in which they could be way more lucrative. Does that make any sense? Why wouldn't you work harder? Now you're in charge. You're doing things. You should be working harder in your business than you would working for somebody else's business. But when you're an employee, people are working harder than they would as a real estate agent who you're working on your own business. I just don't ever get it. It blows my mind. That's what we get. So again, top successful, the most successful show up, even when I don't feel like it, even if they don't have appointments, they're showing up and working daily. Okay. So number four, pretty much goes into this. It goes into most of what I said, right? They do things consistently. Consistently. Yeah. So they not only show up consistently, they make calls, they follow up, they're aggressive, they build relationships, they surround themselves with successful people, right? They look they seek self-improvement, and they do all this consistently. Right? It's not it, right. Everybody knows you go to the gym once a week, right? And you see those people, right? Because they always want to talk about it. Oh, I did it, I did it, but it's never consistent. So, you got to be consistent. It's like me. I'm never going to lose the weight I want to lose because I keep eating Chinese food during the week and I keep eating that. But I know that, right? I know that I need to get better. I need to get better, right? I'm not consistent with my eating. So I know the results that I get because of that. So that is something that the top successful people in mostly any industry, they're just consistent. They show up, they do what they should do, and they do it consistently, which goes into the last one, which is number five. Number five is our action takers, right? No matter what, they take action. They're not waiting for something to develop to be perfect. They just do it and they figure it out as they go. People are going to prepare to do something that they never get to doing, right? So they're action takers. They take action. They don't worry about all the research and everything. Like if you're spending money or investing in something or things like that, I get that, right? You need to kind of slow down a little bit, look what you're getting, think about it, and go from there, right? So, but other than that, if it's phone calls, if it's showing up at the office, if it's going door knocking, if it's mailing out, if it's doing videos, right? It's all this stuff that, you know, the successful just take action. I hear it all the time, even for videos. I don't like how I sound. Well, you may not, but everybody else knows what your voice sounds like, unless you don't talk, which you do. Right? So everybody else knows what you look like. Everybody else knows what you sound like. Get over yourself, right? Take action. Right? So again, those are the five I think are what highly successful people do and habits that they instill consistently. Right. So logic over emotion. The pros versus an amateur. They seek self-improvement. They invest in themselves. I can't believe people don't invest in themselves. They don't realize that the money they spend on themselves to get better at something they're doing to make more money is an investment in them. But they'll spend money on everything else that doesn't make them any return. They show up even when they don't want to, not just for appointments, not just for a certain thing. They show up every day, right? They stay consistent with everything they do. They're actually all right. Everybody have a good weekend. I'm going to keep this short. It's 13 minutes short for me. So, have a great weekend. Hopefully this video helps somebody out there and give them a different perspective on something. All right. Take care. Have a great weekend.